So today we are starting a crazy realism project, and I say crazy because it's going to be extremely detailed. Sort of like my cities series Lakeside and Bellevue, but this is going to be a little bit different. Now the main goals of this project are very simple. We basically want to create a map that is extremely realistic, that it tricks people into thinking that it's a real image or, again, an AI generated image. Another thing that we have to do is create very realistic builds and touch on every single detail, making these really shine in immersion. Now with both of my city series Lakeside and Bellevue, I used Google Earth to actually replicate real structures into the game of Minecraft with pretty much 100% accurate precision, and Whitebridge is not necessarily set in the time where Google Earth existed, so we will not be using Google Earth. I was thinking potentially replicating things from Red Dead Redemption 2. And last but not least, the final goal is to get a fully built map with random towns, villages, and settlements spread throughout, fully detailed. I'm talking the exterior of the builds as well as the interior of the builds. I'm talking the entire 9 yards. And then after we do all that, we have the map completed, I will drop this as a survival map. So with the goals aside and assigned, let's go ahead and start the cinematic experience. I never actually recorded myself building this farmhouse here because it was the first thing that I ever built with this mod and resource pack, so I was still kind of getting the hang of things. And to be honest, this did take me quite some time to build. I did have this located in a completely different area, but I was not liking how it was blending with the landscape, so we moved it here instead. So now what we are going to do, now that it's in this new location, is just go through and apply the final touches and the details. And then we are going to move on to the final build, which is going to be a swampy village. I'm not really sure what it's going to be. A village that's kind of in the swamp. Just some houses that are in the swamp, okay? It's gonna be swamp themed. That's really all there is to say. With the first piece of property completely finalized on Whitebridge, we are now going to shift focus to the next area, which is going to be a bit further south. We will be eventually adding some interiors on these builds because this mod and resource pack is very interior friendly. There's so many blocks to use for the inside of these houses. Now, the next build that we are going to tackle, the next piece of, I guess, property that we are going to build up here is going to be a little bit larger in size. There's going to be a few more buildings than the ones here that we built on this one. So what we are going to do first for this second build is build all of the structures on a flat piece of land, and then we are going to merge it down below into the landscape right below us, and that way it will blend very nicely with the landscape. So I'm going to go ahead and cook something up very quickly for the main house in the village, and then we will merge this down below, and then probably build a shed, probably another house, like maybe a barn of some sort, maybe like a storage house. And then we will build a very long house, kind of like a guest house, not too big, but more long. This one we will actually use a real reference for. The next build here in the village is going to be based off of a real life reference that I just found on Google Images. Because as you do know, we do not have access to Google Earth, as this is a way different time era than Lakeside and Bellevue. I do think eventually down the road we will actually replicate things from Red Dead Redemption 2, because there are a lot of things in that game that this texture pack and mod pack I think could pull off. Now, I'm not too sure exactly if this is a house or a barn or a storage house. I'm not too sure, but based on the actual images provided here, I want to say it's a house. I'm gonna go with my guess that it's a house. We're gonna say it's a house. I'm not 100% sure, but it has a porch and stuff. It's a house. It's a house. This map is actually looking pretty solid so far. I really do like where I put those two buildings down there. So this house is coming together pretty well. As you can see, we do have the porch. This is looking pretty identical to the photo. And then up here, I added some support beams for the roof. I'm guessing this is probably how it looks on the inside. I'm not too sure. It's kind of a weird design, I'm not going to lie, but we are going to make this work. And then I think after we do this build, we're going to place it down below. We're probably going to do full details up here, just wrap off the whole thing, and then just transport it down, potentially, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see how I'm feeling. But after this build, we have one more that I have planned, and then that is pretty much going to wrap up all of the structures, and then we have the very long drawn-out process of detailing everything and making it actually look like it's been lived in. We have to make this look very realistic. So on the real life building that we are basically basing this off of, there's these things that are hanging off of the side of the building here, and I'm not too sure what these are. These kind of look like bananas. I think these are actually bananas. I'm not even going to lie. I can't really tell. We don't have that. So we are going to put hay here instead, or just little baskets of hay that kind of hang off the side. It looks sort of similar. Okay, so now we are going to focus on the last building that we are going to add down below. Now, I did find an image on Google for reference for this as well. This appears to be a small house, almost like a guest house of some sort. I'm not entirely too sure, but that's just what we're gonna run with. Okay, so we're doing some final touches here on the last build. This is definitely a house, maybe a guest house, I think is what this is going to be. Gonna have a little chicken coop kind of here on the side attached to it. I just think that looks really nice, to be honest. This actually looks pretty nice. And it's based on a real life build, so even cooler. But yes, this is really nice. I'm really, really enjoying how this is looking and turning out. I'm really, really liking this mod and these textures. There's just so much to do. Look at these little things here that I can do. It's just like, it's insane. There's so many small details that I can do here. So many decorative blocks. We are going to be here for a very long time, lads. Like, even over here, where we are going to do the chicken coop, we have actual blocks for them, which is pretty cool because I don't have to go out of my way to actually build them with Axiom or anything like that. I can just put this down, and it looks really, really cool. We even have a carton of eggs. We are going to put some of these down. These actually look pretty cool as well. There's so many decorative blocks that we can use. So that is definitely going to help us detail these exteriors. Lads, we even have like moving birds. I'm not even kidding. Look at this. I'm gonna go ahead and put a bird down here, an owl right here. And you can toggle between them so he can just be standing there like actually flying. That looks pretty cool. That looks really cool. I've not seen this in a texture pack yet, so very neat feature. So now most of this house is finished. We are just doing some final touches here, and then we are going to move both of these buildings down below and merge it with the existing buildings that we have. And then we are going to construct a path that leads to all of these buildings. So it's going to be kind of like a medium-sized settlement. We now have both buildings moved down to the surface. We are going to fill out the path to all of these buildings, kind of get that laid out, and then what we are going to do is just do some detailing here on the ground, because once we get the path laid out, I'm going to know exactly where to put specific items and do specific detailing. This practically concludes episode 1 of Whitebridge, and to be honest, it has gone extremely well. I think we made pretty good progress. We have 2 little areas built, which is fantastic. Now, I think for episode 2, what we are going to do is jump into Red Dead Redemption 2. We are going to go in the game, walk around, and just kind of explore, kind of see what we can find and replicate into Minecraft. Now, if you guys are interested in the mod that I used for this video, I will link that down below. Now, the landscape and terrain that we are using for Project Whitebridge was made by a very talented lad. His name is RedRanger. I will go ahead and link his socials down below. He heavily inspired me to start this project, and he is the one who made the terrain and the landscape for Project Whitebridge. And one of the great things that RedRanger does is these landscape and terrain maps are actually free to download, so you can go ahead and download them as well and build on them if you are interested. So I will link those down below as well.